Hey everyone, and welcome back to Robots vs. Vampires, the show where we explore the wildest corners of sci-fi and fantasy. I'm Adrian Smith, your guide through today's epic tale.
And I'm Julia Jones, the sci-fi expert here to help us untangle all the fantastical threads of the story.
Today we're taking you to a city drenched in fog.
Ooh, I love a good foggy city.
Yeah, it's got this film noir vibe
Totally.
where neon signs pierce the gloom.
Adds to that cyberpunk feel, right?
Exactly. It's a world where robots rule.
Okay, so we've got advanced tech.
But here's the twist. Monsters lurk in the shadows. And right at the heart of it all, a war is brewing. One that could completely reshape this entire reality. Think humans versus vampires, but with a sci-fi edge.
Now that's a recipe for an epic showdown.
Absolutely. And at the center of this brewing storm is a teenager named Alex. He's not just dealing with the usual teenage angst.
Oh, I bet it's way more complicated than that.
He's grappling with the fact that he's both human and a vampire.
Whoa, a hybrid. That's like the ultimate identity crisis.
Yeah, some might even call him a Dhampir. You know, that term from vampire hunter lore.
Wait, so Dhampirs might actually be real in this world? That's a cool twist on the myth.
Right. But Alex, he really hates labels. He just wants to be Alex. Simple as that. But his very existence challenges the established order of both vampire and human societies.
Makes sense. He doesn't fit neatly into either box, so what's it like for him, living with this dual nature?
Well, imagine craving a juicy steak one minute, then being drawn to the sight of blood the next. He even finds sunlight uncomfortable, but it doesn't kill him.
So he's not your typical vampire. This blend of human and vampire traits, it really makes you think, what does it actually mean to belong?
Exactly. And his backstory adds another layer to this whole question of identity. His mother was human, brave, strong, but hunted for falling in love with a vampire, Alex's father.
Forbidden love, classic trope, but always a good one. What about the father? What's his story?
That's where things get even more interesting. This legendary vampire vanished years ago, leaving Alex with a dangerous reputation and a unique ability to control his heart rate and actually pass as human.
Okay, hold on. This disappearance is key. Why did Alex's father vanish? Was he forced into hiding? Or did he leave to protect his family? There has to be a connection to Alex's powers and his role in this whole conflict.
I'm with you on that. And then we've got Sarah.
Okay, new character alert. Tell me about Sarah.
Sarah's a human, through and through, with the heart of a hunter. But despite their differences, she's drawn to Alex. There's this undeniable tension, a thrill in their interactions,
Oh,
especially when they spar, both with words
a good verbal duel is always fun.
and with actual stakes.
Whoa, okay, so things get pretty intense between them.
Absolutely. Their connection hints at the possibility that humans and vampires could bridge this massive divide.
Yeah, Sarah represents that flicker of hope, right? This potential for understanding between these two worlds, even though their societies have all this deep-seated prejudice. But that hope is shattered when Alex is ambushed one night.
It's not just any ambush, though. He's attacked by a new breed of vampires, not your typical bloodsuckers.
Okay, so we're talking about a different kind of vampire here,
These guys are organized, militaristic.
like a rogue army.
Exactly. And they're obsessed with cleansing those of mixed blood, Alex being their prime target.
This ambush is a major game changer. It reveals this deeper conflict within the vampire world itself, right? This new faction, they're challenging the existing power structure. Like, what does this mean for the future of vampire society? And how will it impact their relationship with the human world?
Things get really interesting when Sarah actually witnesses Alex's true nature during the attack, his vampire side.
Uh-oh. So she sees him transform. How does she react?
Here's the thing. Instead of fear or disgust, she chooses understanding.
Wow, that's a powerful choice. She goes against everything she's been taught.
Right. They team up. Her hunter skills complementing his unique abilities.
Okay, so we've got this unlikely alliance forming. A human hunter and a hybrid vampire working together. Talk about breaking down barriers.
As they start investigating this new vampire faction, they uncover whispers about Alex's father. Could he be the leader of this fanatical group? Or is he their target? This mystery just keeps deepening.
So his father's disappearance is tied to this rogue faction. We need to figure out what secrets he holds, what choices he made that led to this whole conflict. His past is clearly linked to the present and the future of both humans and vampires.
Totally. And then they learn about a peace summit. It's being organized between humans and vampires.
A peace summit. That's a bold move, a fragile attempt at diplomacy, it seems.
But their investigation reveals a chilling truth. The summit is a trap.
Wait, a trap. So this isn't about peace at all.
It's a carefully orchestrated plan by this rogue faction to ignite a full-scale war.
Oh, wow. That's high stakes. This summit, it's like a glimmer of hope, but also a potential flashpoint. And Alex and Sarah, a hybrid and a hunter, they're the ones trying to protect this fragile peace. That says a lot about their courage.
And their belief in a better future. But they're up against impossible odds. They're facing a powerful enemy who's determined to see the world burn. And as you might expect, the summit explodes into chaos.
Oh, I bet it's a total bloodbath.
It is. The fanatical vampires attack, but there's a shocking twist. Rogue human hunters join the fray.
Wait, rogue human hunters. So it's not just vampires versus humans anymore. This conflict is way more complicated than we thought.
And in the midst of all this, guess who makes a dramatic reappearance?
Don't tell me Alex's father.
You got it.
Wow. Talk about a family reunion you don't want to be a part of. But seriously, this changes everything. Who are these rogue hunters? What are they after? This whole thing is so much more tangled than we initially thought. And now Alex's father's back in the picture. It's like throwing gasoline on an already raging fire.
It's intense. Alex finds himself fighting alongside his father, defending him against those who want them both dead. And Sarah, she stands by their side, her silver bolts finding their mark with deadly accuracy.
This scene, it's got so much symbolism. A father and son reunited in battle. A human and a hybrid fighting side by side. It's like a visual representation of the potential for unity. The bonds that can form even across these huge divides.
But the fight takes its toll. Alex's father, he's fatally wounded. And in a heartbreaking moment, he pleads with Alex to show the humans a different way. A path towards understanding.
For empathy, a plea for a future where his son can actually bridge the gap between the two worlds.
With his father gone, Alex and Sarah press on. Their fight becomes this whirlwind of claws and blades and desperate hope.
They're fighting for their lives, but also for something bigger, right? A chance to change the course of history.
Exactly. They manage to defeat their attackers, leaving behind a scene of carnage and stunned silence.
So they win, against all odds.
They do. The human delegates and the vampire elders, they can only watch in shock as the dust settles.
It's like this impossible image. The hybrid and the hunter standing amidst the wreckage, unlikely heroes, their very existence, their victory. It challenges those deeply ingrained prejudices on both sides.
And it leaves us all with a question. Will their actions be enough to change hearts and minds?
Yeah, it really makes you think about what happens next. Will the human delegates see them as heroes, or will they see Alex as a threat?
It really makes you question everything. Proof that coexistence is possible. Or will they just focus on the vampire part, like a terrifying reminder of the power that vampires have?
And what about the vampire elders? I mean, this whole incident has really shaken their society. Are they going to see this as an opportunity to reevaluate? Or are they just going to double down on their fear of hybrids?
It's a huge turning point for both of them. You know, I keep thinking about Sarah. She started out as a hunter, right? Someone who was raised to fear and fight vampires. But seeing Alex's struggle, seeing his humanity despite his dual nature, really changed her.
Yeah, her willingness to stand by his side, to fight for him, really shows you that empathy can overcome anything, even the deepest prejudices.
She could have clung to that fear and hatred, but she chose a different path.
And that's what's so powerful about Sarah's journey. It's like a testament to individual choice, you know? She could have easily just stuck with what she knew, but she chose understanding and acceptance. And it makes you wonder if one person can change like that, couldn't others?
It makes you think.
Totally. Could her story inspire others to maybe question their own beliefs? To challenge the status quo?
I think one of the things this story does so well is blend science fiction and fantasy. I mean, you've got this neon-drenched, fog-shrouded city where robots are just commonplace, but then you've got vampires lurking in the shadows.
It's a really cool mix.
It creates this really unique atmosphere, like futuristic technology mixed with ancient lore.
And from a sci-fi perspective, it's fascinating how it explores that concept of hybridity, the merging of human and vampire DNA. It really makes you think about the ethical implications of a being like that. What rights would a hybrid have? How would they navigate a world that's afraid of them?
That rejects anything different.
Exactly.
But it's more than just robots and vampires, isn't it? It's about the choices we make, the labels we accept or reject, the power we have to bridge the divides that separate us. It's about looking past the surface and recognizing the humanity in everyone, even those we think are different.
It's about prejudice and acceptance and ultimately the possibility of peace in a world that's full of fear and misunderstanding. I mean, can we overcome generations of hatred and prejudice? Can we learn to embrace those who are different?
Big questions. So what do you think, listeners? Could a being like Alex, a bridge between two worlds, be the key to lasting peace?
Or are the wounds just too deep to heal? We want to hear your thoughts. Leave us a comment on our website or social media. Join the conversation. Share your perspective on this story because it's complex and thought-provoking.
And don't forget to subscribe to Robots vs. Vampires for more stories like this where sci-fi and fantasy collide.
We'll be back tomorrow with another thrilling adventure.
It really leaves you hanging, doesn't it? It makes
Yeah.
you want to know what happens next. Like, will the humans see them as a beacon of hope or this terrifying new threat?
Yeah, and the vampire elders. This whole thing has totally shaken up their society. Will they even take this as a chance to change, or are they just going to be even more afraid of hybrids now?
And Alex,
Yeah.
he lost his father, saw betrayals on both sides,
Yeah.
and faced just like the worst kind of hatred. So what path is he going to choose?
It's a lot to process.
Will he try to be that bridge between the two worlds? Or is he just going to turn away from everyone and everything?
It's like the story just opens all these doors and it's like, okay, now what happens?
Yeah.
What if Alex takes his father's dying wish and actually tries to make peace happen? Could he build a movement? Could he get others to follow him?
Or could all this just make things worse? Push the humans and vampires further apart and lead to an even bigger war? The story doesn't give us any easy answers.
Right, it's not black and white. It makes you think about how complex it all is. Those prejudices run so deep.
But there's still that glimmer of hope.
Yeah, and that's what good storytelling does, right?
Definitely.
It makes you ask all these questions. It stays with you long after you finish the story. Makes you think differently about things.
This has been an amazing journey into a world of robots and vampires. But it's more than just that. It's about the choices we make and the power we have to create our own future.
Exactly. It's about those bigger questions about humanity. And the best stories are the ones that make you question and reflect and maybe even see the world in a new way.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep those imaginations going.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask those what-if questions.
This is Robots vs. Vampires signing off. Until next time, keep those minds open and those hearts ready for the next adventure.